Gonna be honest with you. Today's entire show is filled with bad news. Bad news for Nintendo Switch fans, but I'm gonna try to make it a pleasurable, enjoyable bad news. I'm wearing my Lucky DK shirt, new favorite shirt, courtesy of Macy's 2014 and the Mario Kart 8 launch, DK on a bike. I love it. I don't want more bad news though. Just more shirts like this. Are there any others? Anybody ever seen a shirt like this? DK on a bike? Do you have Bowser on a bike? I'll buy it off of you. In the meantime, good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. Hope your weekend was well. Hope your Monday is starting off magical, and now prepare for 10 minutes of Nintendo Switch news that is not good at all. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. We kick it off with a delay, and I gotta say, Level 5, what are you doing? Level 5 was a humongous proponent of Nintendo handheld games, and they kind of just oofed this entire generation. I'm not really sure what happened. Level 5 just kind of did not put out games on the Switch at anywhere near the cadence they did on, say, the DS or the 3DS. Now Level 5's new game, first one in a while for Switch, Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Stole Time, it's been delayed indefinitely out of October and into no man's land. No new release date, no new release window, which tells me that thing is not being pushed 6 weeks or 2 months. It's being pushed into 2025 or who knows what, when, where. At this point, games like Fantasy Life I, games like Professor Layton, they're going to be Switch 2 games. Kind of sucks for Level 5 that they absolutely missed out on this generation because there were so many sales to be had. And especially this year, if they were able to pump out this title, I think it could have found an audience, but alas, it will not. You will not be playing a new Fantasy Life this year. Instead, you'll be waiting until an unspecified date. I'd say that's okay because we got awesome Pokemon news last night, but we didn't. Mr. Ishihara said he'd be back at the conclusion of the Pokemon World Championships, the card games and the video games, with games news. And boy, did he bring it. He brought games news. If your idea of Pokemon games is Pokemon Unite, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Pocket. Should have known that Ishihara was up to no good and was not going to be teasing something new for Pokemon Legends ZA or a new game entirely, instead revealing a few bits and bobs here and there. Most importantly, the release date for Pokemon Pocket. That TCG pack opening app is going to drop on October 31st, Halloween, and it's scary because this could be the only Pokemon thing releasing this year, which is ghastly, pun intended. I mean, the app looks pretty cool. It's going to be a money sink for you and I if you're a nostalgic fan of Pokemon cards or a current player of the TCG. It's nifty. It's made well. Some people still like Pokemon Go. Pokemon Unite has an audience. I thought there'd be news on something else. The Pokemon Company is clearly taking more time to make these games, and in some ways, that should be applauded. One thing we did not like about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was that it felt rushed. It felt like it was ramshackled together because it performed poorly. Like, the game was a good game, probably my favorite Pokemon game, but from a performance standpoint, it was subpar at best. There were a lot of issues, a lot of windmills that looked ridiculous, and a lot of just glitches, lag, and more. So taking more time to make the games, in a way, should be applauded. If the Pokemon Company is taking their time with Legends ZA to truly make it an exciting, evolutionary, and awesome follow-up to Legends Arceus, then by all means, take more time. I just don't think that Ishihara should have said, we have news on Pokemon games at the end of the World Championships. He should have said, we have news on some of our favorite Pokemon apps, or he should have said, we have updates on some already existing Pokemon things, and they shouldn't have tweeted, no release date yet, implying that there wasn't going to be a release date or they didn't have a release date ready. Instead, they just dropped the release date a day or two later. Kind of bizarre, kind of weird. I mean, I am excited for this Pokemon app. We were promised that back at the February Pokemon Presents. But at this point, barring some crazy last-minute direct reveal, it's pretty clear that Pokemon Company, Game Freak, they're taking 2024 to prep for the future. They're taking 2024 maybe to learn lessons from Scarlet and Violet, to learn lessons from Legends Arceus, to prep Legends ZA for a great cross-platform release, because at this point, it seems like that's what it's going to be. Maybe it does come out right on the cusp of the Switch 2 launch, but why not save it at this point? It's going to be a big open world title that will probably look, run, and perform better on an upgraded piece of hardware. Might as well save it. Pokemon Company decided, no, they will not be delivering anything super awesome. They will not be delivering anything super cool. they will just be delivering more of the same, which I guess we should have expected. Speaking of expected, how many of you were expecting Hollow Knight Silksong to be at Gamescom opening night live? Maybe Keighley finally popped the cherry and is ready to reveal the release date? No. Jeff Keighley confirms that Hollow Knight Silksong will not be at Gamescom opening night live, basically running out of time for this game to come out at any point in 2024. Seems like Hollow Knight Silksong, again, barring some crazy, last-minute, unexpected reveal at an unannounced Nintendo Direct, is going to be a 2025 title. Or 2026. I don't even know at this point. It's pretty crazy. As I've mentioned before, I don't know how they are sitting on this game and not bringing any coin. They must have a lot of money from Hollow Knight, and they must be finding ways to survive. I don't know what could be taking so long. They made such a great title with Hollow Knight. They have a great foundation there. Even if this game is huge, like, what is the holdup? What are the internal issues with Hollow Knight Silksong to create such a bizarre scenario? If you want something really bizarre, it's that I'm ending this video with a story about Nintendo announcing a Direct, which should be the headline, it should be the lead, and yet it's none of those things because Nintendo announced the weirdest Direct ever. Nintendo announced a Nintendo Museum Direct Monday, August the 19th, and it's going to be a tour of the Nintendo Museum in Japan. And they made clear, no game announcements, no Switch 2 announcements, nothing of the sort. It's just a little museum tour. But alas, in typical crazy, kooky Nintendo fashion, they're calling it a Direct. Just like they had a Super Mario Bros. Movie Direct and a Super Nintendo World Direct. Now look, I'm all for Nintendo having more presentations and more announcements, but when we are being told there's going to be new exciting Nintendo announcements soon, there's going to be presentations and leakers/journalists are saying, oh, they're hearing things are moved up, then you get an announcement of a Museum Direct and you're like, my goodness gracious, what is going on? We're getting no good Pokemon news. We're getting other titles that were expected to be out in just a few months delayed. We're getting hollowed out from Hollow Knight yet again. And now we're getting a Direct, but one that frankly will have zero impact on majority of us. I wish I could make a trip to the Nintendo Museum in Japan. We can't. I guess that's why they're doing the Direct, so that they can show what they've got to people like you and me who maybe can't make the trip to Japan, can't make a vacation just to see Nintendo's museum. Alas, it's a bit weird. The timing is a bit odd. If Nintendo is indeed going to have an actual games-focused presentation, whew, this is a weird scenario. They had a mid-June Direct, the first one in a long time for a general. They're having a mid-August Museum Direct. No Pokemon Presents. Indie World has not been announced yet. If there is to be either a general or an indie presentation, it's going to be just a strange set of circumstances and a strange order of this newfangled timeline. Nintendo is clearly not attached to what was once before, and in some ways breaking the mold and the pattern is applauded and great for Nintendo. In other ways, it makes the waiting way harder for us. The best news I can give you is yesterday morning's video, which is that the Nintendo Switch 2, according to a semiconductor company that works with Nintendo on the current Switch, is about to enter mass production. That is undeniable, certifiable, and once that happens, there's no turning back. So even if Nintendo is silent on the public relations front, on the tweet and Twitter and X front, they are making moves behind the scenes to move things ahead. And we do know that Echoes of Wisdom is now a month out. We've got a demo for Emio the Smiling Man later this week, a 3-parter, which is pretty crazy cool. We've got Super Mario Party Jamboree and Mario and Luigi Brothership. There are things happening. There are things announced. It is not a dead period. It's just a weird period. And I feel like Nintendo, we always expect a lot from them. And I feel like they are habitually under-delivering, except for when it's a major first-party game like a Tears of the Kingdom. And I don't know how Nintendo avoids that in the future. Is it our fault? Is it their fault? This company is so big and so profitable and so great. I think we expect that maybe they would just want to do awesome things all the time. And clearly that's not the case. In many ways, it feels like video games are in a down spiral compared to where they were, say, 5 years ago. I don't mean that to be a Debbie Downer or to be pessimistic, but some things need to change. There was a ton of money afloat during the COVID timeframe, and a bunch of studios popped up. Many of them have since shuttered. Layoffs are aplenty. People are losing jobs and their livelihood, and the game companies really don't seem to be doing a ton that exciting right now. Nothing that exciting from Sony this year. Xbox is always next year. And Nintendo, I mean, they've got a pretty decent lineup, but they've been slow on presentations, and they have not revealed their Switch 2. Maybe things can kick into full gear in 2025 with a PS5 Pro, with a Nintendo Switch 2, and with a bunch of exciting new first-party titles that will help bolster those platforms, as well as the final realization of what the Xbox Series consoles can be when games eventually come out for them. In the meantime, though, right now, oof, what a way to start the week with Nintendo news. I think it'll get better from here. We're going to check out that demo. Something crazy could pop up. And if you're paying attention, it does seem like there is a Nintendo presentation besides the museum one around the corner. So TBD, wait and see. Fingers crossed for you and me. Where is Hollow Knight Silksong? In the meantime, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love you lots. SwitchForce out.